know what? Real quick.
It's going live.
Okay.
You rocking with your boy Czarr, all rights reserved. CommenterNation, greatest nation since United Nations. Stand up. I just swiftly wanted to talk going on. There's a lot we have to discuss as far as that goes. I'm going to have Chris talk with me in a little while. I definitely plan to have Queen on whenever she's ready, if she ever does dial in. It's going to be lit. I want to pose a few things. And I want to start off by saying, if Tank isn't on the members only tour, I don't want to see it. I'm just being honest with you. I'm going to skip it. If I find out he is not on your tour, not only am I against or not going to speak for the tour, but I promise you to this point, and I promise this, that I will not listen to any album or anything that comes out, and I will continually hold to that. If you're telling me he's not on, see it this way. That's like taking the main faces of this entire thing and pushing them aside for some purpose. To me, it's no different. I am not rocking with the members only tour if he's not on it. And I'm being told he's not, and it's sold out. Now, is it real? Is that the truth? I don't know. But whatever the case may be, I'm not with it. I'm really not with it. And that's what I want to be known. I'm not a part of that. I'm not with the tour. I'm not with that. I'm not with anything. I'm not even going to try and find out when music's coming out. I don't care who's coming out with music. Let me put it that way. I'm not rocking with the tour at all. It's not going to be what I do. I'm sorry. I just want to state that up. If anyone was going to ask if I'm entertained with that. So if you have any details dealing with the tour, I don't care. If he's not on the tour, I don't want to watch it. I don't want to hear about it. If someone's speaking about it in the comments or something, I'm going to like your comment or something, but you're not getting a response if you ask a question. If I find out he's not on it, see, because here's the thing. There are people that, again, you know how we say been. There's people who been doing it, okay? He's one of the people that been doing it. And I don't say names much. You know my style. I don't do that. But I'm making it blatantly known here that if he's not a part of the tour, I don't care what's happening. If he's has to be forced to take a solo act, I'm going to look for that. I'm not looking for anything you guys have to bring. No one's a breakout star. Now, let me add this to the factor. Let me double it down so you get what I'm saying. I realize another person that's part of there has been taking solo missions, and he's been looking for clout to build up off of stuff he's doing. So off of what he's doing, he's trying to take the front man perspective and get known. But I called out a dumb move he made in his marketing tactic. That's what I'm saying. I don't care. I don't care. You guys can feel how you want, but if Tank is not part of the tour, I don't care about it. I don't want to hear about it. I don't care if you guys are succeeding. I don't care if the tour is sold out. And allegedly you're sold out. I don't care. If he's not hitting the stage and something's not Gucci with it, I don't care about what you guys are doing anymore. And I mean that because the problem is that a lot of you have not even been doing music, but now you're hopping up, oh, like I got a track. It's about who's been doing it. That's a person that's been doing it even since X was here. That's what I'm saying. And you guys want to fade these people out. You want to try and you guys are lame. That's lame. If you're telling me that's the reason, you're lame. You're lame because you're trying to fade people out so I could get spotlight. Because you know you can't, you don't have the ability to make a catalog to listen to. You guys, if anything, he was around learning and watching and seeing what was happening. You guys were never around from my knowledge. I've never seen you except standing there in the crowd, not touring with him, seeing what's going on. That's just lame. And then you're going to take him off the tour. For what? Oh, I forgot. It's hoes over money, right? Do y'all all think alike? Like this artist, other artists rapped in the song? That's probably when he was like, what the? These dudes are crazy. That's crazy, man. And you guys push whatever narrative to women, to anybody else, just for the clout and stuff to make yourself look better than someone, but it backfired. I'm gonna just tell you the narrative and stuff you were pushing to women behind the scenes backfired. And now everyone's more interested in what he's gonna do versus anything you're doing. You could keep your sold out show. He's actually, from what I've seen, he's actually doing what it takes to become a supernatural star, where you're working with many different entities. All you'll have is you in the end of the day. So you'll always be breaking bread with other guys right beside you that may not be as talented as you. But that's the thing. You could keep that. Take your moment of fame versus someone who's grinding for a catalog, as every artist should do. I just wanted to make that known up front, because when I'm looking at what's going on, I'm seeing the type of chatter behind the scenes, the type of stuff you guys are saying to women, where it's just, that's downright, that's clown like. Oh, if it's behind the scenes, it's behind the scenes. Why are you talking about behind the scene things to a woman when you guys know up front you're wrong for taking someone off? You're only doing it because you know you're wrong and you're trying to push a narrative. Listen, everybody knows women make up a good 60 to 80% of any good catalog, because not only do they actually buy albums, but they actually support something they're interested in over men. So whoever you're doing it for, the women and stuff, you messed up. Because if anything, this would have been the one thing to continually push your tour, because people have been listening to the music he's been making versus anything you're doing now. Some of your names come up and I'm like, who's that? Some of you are using your regular names on stage. Like, I'm like, who's that? What is he talking about? What other song did he have? Oh, got you. You rush songs up on World Star and you think that's when you can step out like, hey, it's me. Like, it's so clownish. It's so clownish. I'm just saying, if Tank's not on that members only tour, don't talk to me about it. Don't mention it to me. I don't want to hear the songs. I don't want to hear how the tour went. I don't want to hear who's touring now. I don't want to hear whatever's happening with y'all. Y'all just do your thing, become a memory. That's all. Because that's lame. That's lame. That's like me getting in a group, like, let's say, just per se, LOX and saying, oh, Jadakiss ain't showing up. That's stupid. That's stupid. If I'm going to see him, that's who I'm going to see. I wonder, do all your fans know that he's not there? Do they? I don't think they do. Because if they did, and you're telling me it's sold out, I don't think it would have got sold out as much. Like, I'm going to go see Trunks. Really? I'm pulling up to a members only tour because I got to hear Trunks' song. That doesn't even make sense. That makes no sense. You don't realize it. That's stupid. That's stupid. It's dumb. When do you guys ever hit your head like, oh, that was stupid? Like, do you ever do that? It's dumb if you didn't know. Now, with that out the way, I hope you guys were paying attention yesterday. Remember, before a lot of different things happened, I said something specifically. The specific thing was, I mentioned about usernames, I mentioned about knowledge of people, and I mentioned about knowing identities. Now, I'm no dummy. Listen. And that's the thing. People around me that I rock with, they aren't dumb either. When certain people were heard, they were like, that's what's, I was like, shh. They were like, that's what's in there. So we were talking and different things. So I understand. Listen, when I speak about topics, I speak about them on purpose. So hopefully y'all were educated when y'all came in on the mystery usernames, and I gave you the information that you needed to know. I hope it was enlightening. Thank you for the feature of Little Panama in the background. I heard you. I heard you. That's why I'm laughing. I'm like, you still can't control yourself in the background. You're so ratchet that you can't keep your mouth shut to listen to something when people are talking, when you're not even supposed to really be there. You don't even have the heart to come on yourself and talk. You got to hide behind someone, but that's okay. Because you're dealing with an enlightened young man. I'm not a dummy. You're dealing with an enlightened man. I'm not dumb. You didn't trick me. It wasn't like, oh, I think this. No, I knew exactly who was behind the scenes and exactly who it was. And I was cool with it. Matter of fact, kudos to him for sliding on. I'm cool with it. But don't try and push a narrative that didn't make sense. Listen, if I had any doubt that it was who I thought it was, the moment you tried to push a certain narrative, I said, wait. because I actually talked to people behind the scenes and it was adverse to what it was I was actually thinking. I'm like, wait, let's say you were true. Why would you be pushing me so hard to get me to speak about it? That was my thought. And I'm sitting back thinking like, I'm like, I know it is who I think it is, okay? I'm trying to figure out why you want that narrative pushed so hard. And then number 15, I'm going to talk to you briefly. You think I thought you were really who you were? Are you that stupid? Are they this stupid? Are they this dumb? You must think I'm stupid. What did I ask you up front? I said, you're a female? I asked you and I let you go. Then I said, I caught you. I said, why'd you ask Queen that? You didn't even know what I was talking about up front. That's why I was trying not to laugh. I was like, this person's really stupid. I was like, whose bimbo is this? But I know whose bimbo it is. I just wanted to see if he was man enough to speak. So you got to send your bimbos on. Now, let me say this too. I made a video directed at you to say some things, but I held it back because I was like, I know who this is. I even have other commenters saying this is such and such. They're not dumb. Let me tell you, no one over here is dumb. They knew who you were off the rip. One of them even hinted at who you were. That's why I just kind of laughed. You saw me just laugh. I know. You can't get me that way. And here's what's even funnier. I told you from day one, from whenever you watch, that I have no problem with you being part of CommenterNation. But when you try and throw salt in the mix, now we got an issue because you're on a behind the scenes way, but you're steadily trying to turn the narrative away from you or anything that's going on. Now, let me tell you this, number 15. There are people that saw the video I spoke of before I mentioned it. Why do you think I mentioned it? No. There are people who had and ripped the video of you before I mentioned it. Of course I do that. Are you kidding me? So I'm going to mention it and allow you time to try and cover the tracks up like, delete that, delete. I wouldn't do that. I mentioned it to let you know, A, we know. Fall back. We know about you. Fall back. That's how I did it. But that's the crazy thing. Welcome, Queen. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Let them know your social media.
Hit me up on YouTube at Queen Prodigy and also on Twitter at the same Queen Prodigy name. Also, you can hit me up on IG at Queen Prodigy 0369. Feel free to contact me for readings or consultations. They are going for $40 for 30 minutes. So just let me know.
All right, hit her up, get business in, learn more about yourself, perceive a look and insight into the future that you're looking to accomplish. I'm going to mention this quickly, not to backtrack, but just quickly so you know what I said first. I mentioned about the fact that I am told Tank is not on the members only tour. And the first thing I said is I don't want to hear nothing from members only if he's not on the tour. If he's not getting money with you, when I know for a fact there's times he was holding y'all down, I know that. If he can't get money with you, I don't care if you're getting money. I'm not supporting you getting money. And if any fans or anyone's asking my opinion, I'm telling them I don't mess with that. What are your thoughts on that, Queen?
Well, as far as my position on it, I think that's like the main situation that seems to be probably agitating to most fans and even Ja is the fact that there's like a lack of unity going on. And that seems to be one of the biggest situations. I believe he was at Wi-Fi's funeral's birthday bash. So there seems to be a great divide, it seems like. Members only, Tank, Wi-Fi, and then you see Ski doing his thing with Scheme. So it's like, what exactly is going on? You know, like
Exactly.
what exactly is happening that people aren't talking about, because there's just a lot of confusion as far as how it initially came together, and then since he's passed, things have switched up dramatically. You know, everybody was chanting the same message for the most part, and then now it's changed.
And I want to say this too: if there's any sponsors and other people that deal with music, I know he wasn't on the first tour, but I kind of let that one slide. I didn't talk about it because maybe he had something to do. If he's not on this second tour, I don't care about it. And if there's any music moguls and other things that are in tune, make sure you hook him up. Don't, because here's my thing. You're talking about somebody who was actually holding X down. Let's be real. Was there anybody who was holding X down in situations, hanging around him, making sure things were good? There was nobody else. Matter of fact, I can't think of one other person. That's my problem. You can't play that angle because money's involved in, oh, we got to make sure us 6 or 7 of us get money, so we can't. That's lame. That's lame. If it's a team game and you're breaking it down, and the fact that he's not on it, as allegedly from what I told, I don't care about it. I don't want to hear about the tour. I don't want to hear what they're doing. It's not going to be lit. I don't care if someone's like, it's lit. It's not. It's not. Because when the business ain't done right up front and certain people ain't getting paid when they did their due diligence, I don't want to hear about it. I really don't. And then the next thing I was talking about, which may be most of interest to you, allegedly, I know who, and I probably sent you something, I think, later that night, number 15 in the Jordan individual, who they were alleging it was, and certain things and tactics I use at which they expose themselves. What are your thoughts on that?
Honestly, it's kind of interesting simply because of the fact that I had a pretty long conversation with one of them. I'm not going to say who. I think you already know. And so it's for me. I'm just trying to figure out. I need to figure out some sort of comparison, or go back to Victor's situation interview or whatever, and hear his voice and figure that out. But it's kind of crazy to me. I mean, as far as number 15 is concerned, that seems to be pretty obvious because you know how you stated it, how it all kind of came out basically.
Yeah.
How you initially pulled all that stuff out. But I feel like me and you need to have an in-depth conversation about that.
Okay, that sounds good. I will say there's 3 things I went and did to Jordan that he didn't notice. Number 1, I rehashed him in a conversation where I asked him about somebody specific. And here's the thing. There was a 3-second hesitation in your voice. There was 3 seconds before you answered the question, which last time you didn't answer at all. There was a clip that I have of when I spoke about Panama that's blatantly verbal to hear. I hear her voice in the background go, "What?" I heard her. I almost laughed, but I kept my composure. I was like, I even walked away at some point because I was like, I couldn't hold it anymore. The third thing is that I had a person that heard his voice before. A few of them sit in on it. They both collectively confirmed that is him. Now, these two don't know each other. They don't know each other. They know his voice, though. And they confirmed that was his voice. Now, those were my 3 confirmations that I had up there. A few of them, I'm willing to say, but the 2 different people, I don't know. That's shaky. That'd be like me talking in on something and claiming I'm someone else. And then 2 people, commenters like, yeah, that's him. That's him. It was 2 different people, though. 2 different people. And I had both of them sitting on both. The first time they both said the same thing. They said, sounds like it, let me listen longer. But then they came back that's him. So I don't know. But dealing with that situation, that inaudible what in the background, when I mention her, that is her character. That's her character. She can't not refrain from reacting. And it was nice. Now, number 15, you notice something. It was when you rehashed the comment they made about you. Did you realize that they didn't know that they made that comment? Queen?
That's the part that confused me the most.
Exactly. So here's the thing. The moment number 15 said you wanted to join, understand, I move very operative. It's detective level. I move operative. The moment you said you wanted to join the live, I said, cool. I called you right away to come in. I did it on purpose. Because if you told me you wanted to get on and you hesitated, there was some reason you hesitated. And you hesitated just with enough time that I did the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, even to about 8 Mississippi. Then you were ready, which told me you were preparing something. There was a reason you were preparing to get on the live. So I figured out, even if you weren't who I thought you were, it was suspect. Now, here's how you would have got away with it. Because I'm going to tell you how you would have got away with it. If you came on with a man's voice, but you said whatever you said, it would have been harder for me to discern. But from reading what you type, I read what people type all the time. There are subtle differences between the women in here versus the men speaking. That was a man speaking as number 15. That was a man. But you came on and said you were a woman. I said, okay. So that's why I blatantly asked you about what you said about Queen, because she mentioned it. I knew you wouldn't know, but I asked you. Then you were ditzy about it. Like, I asked, do you read what you type? That's why I had to laugh. I had to make a laughing moment because then I knew you weren't who you say you were. You see how easily you can discern these things? I knew it. I knew it. Then you told me you had to go, but you never left. Even if you left Skype, you never left. I saw you speaking every 2 to 3 minutes, which means who was in control took back over control. You see how easy that is to discern? You see, you can't trick me that way. This is a higher level. It's levels to this. It's a higher level of understanding and comprehending. You couldn't get past me that way. I those type of mind games, I play those. I can play those with you. You can't do that to me. So I knew you weren't who you said because you said a lot. What Queen was talking, you said a lot. And it wasn't just once. It was multiple times throughout stories. There were stories she wasn't even on a live and you were talking about her. I got you. I got you. You can't play those games over here and win. The mind games, I do that. I does that. It's different. That's the thing. You couldn't do that. So we got you.
That's the reason why I didn't go hard on her. Because I'm like, I didn't go hard on her for what? Because I was like, nah, this doesn't. I don't feel like it was 100% legitimately that person, basically. Because
So
if you commented on me, even when I'm not there, like,
right,
who wouldn't remember that?
Right, right, and it was very personal. It was very personal. It was so direct and to the point of a person that I'm like, I brought you on because I was like, you got a lot to say to her. I was actually going to let y'all battle. Then when you came out and you were like, huh? What do you mean? I was like, huh? I was like, wait. That's when I was like, am I right about this? And Queen, from her talking, I presume you were like, this isn't the right person. You're like, something's up. Like anybody would. You said too much. It was too much sideways talking. It was too personal. And the mannerisms, the way of speaking, we've seen it before. We've seen it before. We don't forget that type of stuff. There's only one person who uses those mannerisms and says what they said to her. Right. It's odd. It's very odd. And that's the thing. Jordan, let me tell you the biggest mistake you made too. You continue to cut us off. Like when Queen was talking, you cut her off. When Chris was talking, you spoke up. I don't know whether you're on something, bro. I don't know. I have no knowledge of that. But you're too excited to speak, which means you're trying to direct and carry a narrative. What gave that up is when you multiple times, go back and listen to the streams, y'all, if I'm lying. He said, let's get back to the XxXTentacion thing. So I said, okay, you want me to get back? Hey, I asked you a question you didn't answer. You see how that works? Now I'm back to where your comfort zone was, but I brought it down to a topic I felt was uncomfortable for you. So that's what you were giving out. You gave your identity away. Thank you for joining my live stream. But here's the thing. Why wouldn't you be man or woman enough? Panama, you piss me off so much. Be woman enough to speak on your end. Don't sit in the back. What? Huh? But I didn't. Yo, I know if you got a man, I know that throws him over the edge. Like this, I know y'all go at it. No one's gonna stand for that. Stand on your words. I let you say the stuff you said about me. The stuff you said about me, Panama. It was vicious. What you did was vicious. I still never dropped your government. I still didn't go in on you. I showed the messages, dummy. I still respected you and told you if you come back and talk cordial, you could stay. Who did I kick out? I kicked you out because you started talking about the women here. You started coming at their necks. You started talking about other people. You were cursing left and right. You got a lot of growing up to do. I don't know how old you are. You got a lot of growing up to do, though. You can't have adult conversations. But off of that, even if that's the case, what are we presuming about this tour? Queen, do you think this members only tour is going to be successful?
God. Yeah. As far as how I feel about that, it's I mean, that's all due to, I feel like if they have a European leg, it's probably due to the fact that, yeah, they have their own following, but a lot of ex-fans are hoping to kind of recapture that energy. So I would assume that, at the end of the day, I would want everyone to be successful at whatever it is that they do. But I just hope that it's just in a tasteful manner, in respect to what's already been done, if that makes sense.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I like that. Also, shout out to Ray Ray. Shout out to Ray Ray on Instagram, always keeping me with the dope pictures and keeping me up to date with what's going on, as well as accounts and other things. You always have them all times of the night. So I really respect that because I could go back and read them, look at them, even if I don't catch them right away. It's very helpful when I'm looking at different topics and stuff that I have going forward. Also, you guys know, if you didn't know, I freestyle everything. I'll look at something, I'll read through it, I'll think of how I want to go about it, and I'll freestyle it. It's all freestyle. I don't take notes and things like that. I work my mind because, a pen and paper can leave trails sometimes. So I always do it to stay authentic and kind of grounded as much as possible. All 400, 500 topics, information, and videos freestyle. Okay, that's how I do it. That's me. But I wanna also put in and say that definitely support Queen Prodigy. Follow her movement, rock with her. 5,000 sub drive, subscribe, get us to 5,000 subscribers. That's the goal, because then we'll be able to do a lot more, and I'll actually be able to get certain live topics out there you may throw out, so I can be able to reach out to certain people and get them to talk on the live. I'm trying to get it lit. That's part of how I do it. I came on for a while because I just wanted to address that and let them know that we aren't stupid over here, that there were many times. You want to know how crazy it is? There was one time, Jordan, you know, shout to Chris, he brought it up. I called you Victor. I said, Victor. You said, yeah. I was like, I wanted to bust out laughing. I was like, really? I was like, and then you kind of caught yourself. You're like, what? Chris, wait, hold on. Let me bring Chris, whenever you're ready. We here. Chris, there was one time, and you said it, where I called him Victor.
Yeah. You called out Victor, and again, I don't know if it was intentional or not, but you called out Victor, and you could clearly hear him say, you could clearly hear him respond back to you. And I had to take like a triple take. And I'm like, yo, what the heck?
I was about to die out. I mean, and I re-listened to it too, and I didn't think much of it because I was like, he could have just thought, but then, like, you know, you mentioned it, I'm like, well, I'm not the only one that caught it. I was like, so it had to be true. I said it. And then you got Panama in the background remixing. What? I knew you'd break. I'm like, I don't know. Whatever they're on, y'all got to be on something strong, allegedly. Y'all be wilding. Like, I don't know what y'all doing in the background. Is Panama allegedly pregnant? Like, how's she in the background? Like, what is she doing? I don't know. Allegedly prego. I don't know. But that was crazy. Like, you gave me a good laugh. I appreciate you guys trying to get on the live. I mean, I'm just saying we could have had a better conversation, but that doesn't change anything I said about the situation. Take that as your enlightening moment. I'll let you know the truth of the matter. Once again, if I'm somebody who lost $100 million man, potentially, I'm sitting at home twiddling my thumbs. Once the case closes, we're out. We're rolling out. I'm jumping up. I'm on the phone like everybody. Go find out. And you too, that's what I'm trying to say. You two, they ain't gonna be playing. I don't know whether you guys thought it was a joke. Again, I have the receipts to show you said we love that day. The cat's out the bag. Right now, it is what it is. Either if you love, I have a question. If you two, both Chris and Queen, if there's a day you love, would you feel any remorse?
If it's a what? If it's a day I what?
That you said you loved, would you feel any remorse for something you said you loved?
No. Why would I feel any remorse if I love the shit, you know?
It's odd. What did you love? That's why I kind of stopped talking. I was like, this person's kind of sick. I was like, they love that? That makes no sense. That's all I'm saying. I just came on to try and tell them, I realize that. And what is your opinion on this, Chris? Members only. Allegedly, Tank will not be on the tour. I blatantly said publicly to everyone, then I don't care about it. I don't care what's happening. I don't care who's touring with them. I don't care if they make money. I don't care if it's lit or not. I don't care. If he's not there on tour with y'all, I don't care. What are your thoughts on it, Chris?
Yeah, I feel the same way. he's not in it.
Like, screw your tour. I don't care.
What's the point? How you cutting somebody off that's an important person, a part of that group. You know?
Yeah, that'd be like looking at the Bulls, and if X was Michael Jordan, that's like saying, "Oh yeah, Michael Jordan's out. Okay, we could do this without Scottie Pippen." No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. You know that's a lie. You know that's a lie.
I'm gonna say this. Honestly, the best they're going into a very aggressive industry. They have what they need to realize is that they have a huge target on their back simply because of their affiliation with Czarr. And on top of that too, it's not that I think the best thing that they can do is to try to rectify whatever differences that they've had, principle, no principle, whatever differences that they had, and just be able to like move forward with each other as a unit. I'm talking about like all of them, because that's the only way that they're gonna make it.
No, and I would agree that's the only way they're going to make it, but I believe his career is brighter alone. If he sticks to himself, which y'all shouldn't have did that, his career is going to have a chance being brighter. It's because we already saw that there's bad marketing involved with them. We already saw that they're not really linking up with artists as a team. They're linking up with several other artists. But as a solo act, he has the ability to make real fast decisions because the money's for his own self, and it's not thinking about that guy. That guy. What can that guy do so I can pay him? He doesn't have to think that way. It's a one-man show. So honestly, if someone has been around X, watched them, it's someone who can inherently inherit the mode and the movement versus other guys trying their hardest to rap like him, trying their hardest to be like him on the stage. Like, don't you understand that that type of stuff comes natural, and that only someone around someone naturally watching and understanding their business can repeat it? It's not like you can force yourself to do it. That's the thing. The feel's not the same, but they don't realize that. So that's why they're saying, oh, this person's disposable. This person, they're looking at the money now. They're not looking at the future. That's the thing. You guys aren't looking at the future, so you're willing to cut someone off for the moment because of some beef, because you're looking at now. And here's the thing. If he's really smart and on his business, he's going to say, nah, you cut me off. If you want me back, you pay me for me to come back. And I'll think about coming back. Because see, what you did was you cut me out of money. You cut me out of time and experience of being around new fans because you wanted it for yourself. Now you want me back, you pay me. And I'll think about it. Period. See, that's going to mess you up because now he has that leverage. Because whether you realize it or not, I know what's happening. See, I know what's happening. You're looking at someone in your group's followers. So this person has 500,000 followers now. If they can't market to translate it to fans that are actually going to buy albums, what is it for, dummy? There's people that have 10 million, 20 million fans. Only 10,000 of them buy albums. What does it mean? It means nothing. So thinking you got a leg up, you just got your leg knocked down. And you gave the ability for someone to rise without remorse for you. That's not smart. That's not smart. That was dumb. That was real dumb. You guys should have thought about that. I can tell it was emotions involved. Y'all should have thought about that. You should have thought about that. And here's the thing. After X is gone, the only people that know, who do they know to be around X? Very few. He's the one they know, holding them down. What? So you're going to take the act of X all together and just run it for? It doesn't work that way. That's not how the industry works. You guys, someone didn't teach you about the industry. Someone, or you're not observant. Now what's crazy, actually, It's Hank's moving how you're supposed to do it to get into the industry and solidify yourself. He's the only one. He is the only one. Now, see, I know what the issue is. You're all looking at the fact that, oh, well, he was on Rolling Loud. He was doing that. He's in XXL. Do you know how many people were XXL freestyle freshmen did great and flopped? You're fighting for an image that won't stand. You're fighting for the moment and not the longevity. I talked about this so many times. Before 6ix9ine ended up in his situation, I told him. So heed my word when I'm talking about this stuff. It's not that simple. If you're not conversions, let's talk about entrepreneurship. Anybody that's an entrepreneur, you get this. It's not just about how many views you're pulling in. It's how many views can you convert. If you can't convert no one, and get it. It's not him saying, oh, I love you, I'm your favorite fan. It's him shutting up, going out, and buying what you're selling. Now, I already had a guy up here who one of these artists that are on this tour burnt a bridge with because he paid him and he never gave the music. Now, how many friends did you hear him say he got involved in your music? He put 10 people on to you. This was an album buyer. He put 10 people on to you. You took his money and you ran off with the bag. Hey, ducking under things, blocking them. Why? He put 10 people. Listen, you go perform at a show. What knowing is that 10 of those people in the crowd are going to buy your album? You can't even tell me that. But he put 10 people on anticipating your album off of being friends with them while he paid you. So if he's handing you money, he doesn't have the money to go buy your album. You don't see, I can tell you didn't think that through, and it's cool. But those type of mistakes can really throw you off in the long run. You may be like, oh, that's just one dude. That one dude may be somebody that gets his own appeal and can lead 1,000 album buyers to you without you knowing it. You don't know. That's why you don't play with the money. You don't play with the bag. You don't play with fans. You don't play with people's hard-earned check. And he paid you what you asked. You still got over on him. That is going to follow you on tour. When you're hitting your tours, you don't think people are going to think about that? Now, I know you're like, oh, they don't know. Trust me. If it's a local fan, as it was, do you think those 10 dudes, when we were on live, all 10 of them in the background, he said none of them are even messing with him anymore because of what he did to me. These were my friends. They only listen because of me and the broken promise you gave to put him on your album. That would, regardless of what you think, if you put that boy on an album that's a fan, do you know how you would have blew up? He would have showed all his friends, all his relatives, go buy his album just to listen to the one song we're on. That's 100, 200 album buys off of having him on that song. You didn't think it through. Process, interactions, business dealings, business ethics, business efficacy. Because those things, even to the most, your interactions, don't make promises you don't want to do. If he wanted a few songs, he wanted one song and you promised 3. One song and put him on. Why do what you did? Oh my goodness. That's how I know he's better off by himself making music and growing his fan base. Because if that's what y'all going to do and F the bag up like that, Why would I want to be around you? Because that's going to make me look bad. Now, let's look at the race standards. Who's buying the most albums? It was found Caucasian over African Americans. This was a Caucasian fan that had a large Caucasian base he could have brought you. We're just being real. Who's really buying the albums for real? Not that blacks don't, but who buys them more normally? You just cut off one of your could-be fan bases. That is why you become a famous icon. It's the little things. Do you understand? It's the little things. That's how I can tell you're thinking young. And again, I said I wasn't going to give advice like that or try and talk about that. But you got to understand, even cutting this one man off the tour, it's the little things. You don't show up with him. I'm going to be real with you. 25% of the audience coming, at the least, wants to see him on stage. It's a fact. It's a fact. Czarr reads numbers. I'm a numbers person. I'm looking at numbers. You're looking at a moment. If 25% of my audience is showing up to see this guy, doesn't matter if your tour is sold out. What's the chance of it being able to happen again and again if you're leaving out a star they're looking for on the stage? Say later on, to make me look wrong, you're like, hey, we got him here. Yeah, the crowd's going crazy. You still lose because his price is probably going up. My price is up now. Pay me what you owe. And you better pay it up because that was messed up. Even the behind the scenes talking to women about it, that's messed up. Because from seeing how he moves, I don't think he'd ever do that thing. YouTube's playing. We back. You know, YouTube plays sometimes. I just got to give it time. But is it really hoes over the money? Really? 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 I hope y'all don't ride with that narrative. Please. Please. Please don't. Wow. 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 I wanted to ask this, and I'm sorry, I kind of, I was giving my take on that because we addressed that, and that receipt showed other things that are interesting. But with that receipt in mind, I wanted to ask you something, Queen and Chris, and I want you to be honest about it. Now, allegedly, I have someone that is doing more, let's say, insight we did get from the alleged not belonging to the identity perceived by us. Now, I'm not going to force you guys to give me your thoughts on the family and stuff. We're not going there. I want to know, is this a plausible thing? And if someone like Cleo and them are watching, I sent you it. What is your take on it, Cleo, too? Please let me know. I tried to reach out to Genesis about a month ago. She ignored me. So that's what it is. But that's what I'm saying. What is your thoughts? Is this plausible that we were duped? And now, before you guys answer, I want to say, guys, if this was believed by Cleo and say it allegedly came out, it wasn't. This bears no weight on her. Think about this. You are a jilted mother. Something bad just happened to someone you love. That would be somebody playing off your heartstrings. That is the lowest of the low of low I've ever heard someone go. Seriously, that's the lowest you can go. If this is allegedly true, what these fake witnesses sent me yesterday, and it's getting looked at over and over, getting compared, they're doing comparisons. The software comparisons are happening too, best believe it. I'm trying to know if this was plausibly not the situation. Queen, would you think this individual is low for doing it?
When you say, as far as you stated, basically pulling on his mother's heartstrings, over what exactly happened? I'm sorry, I got slightly distracted by my dog.
No. I'm saying, would this be the lowest of the low if this actually did happen to make someone believe something that wasn't true like that?
Pertaining to his situation?
Yes. Would they be a low person for tricking someone into thinking something of this nature?
I mean, naturally. Also, at the same time, I will say, like, would there be a stronger reason to cover up something, if that makes sense? Like,
I see, and I could think of a few reasons for that. I think that's a little deep for the moment, but what do you think of? What if you had to grade this, 10 being lowest of the low, 1 being it was what it was? Do you believe, what would you give the number of how low that would be?
I feel like it's kind of dependent upon the circumstance, so I'm gonna probably like leave it at a 7.
Okay.
I kind of get this feeling like sometimes people do certain things and they feel like they have a plausible explanation behind it. So that's why I often, sometimes when people do things, or if they say something about me, or in general, whatever, I do my best to analyze the situation, like try to figure out where their thought patterns are coming from, essentially, and map it back with facts, basically. It doesn't matter if it's about changing your mind or not. It's just about solidifying the fact that you know what's real.
What about you, Chris? What are your thoughts?
Mine's are slightly different than Queen's. If I had to rate that was allegedly true, and it came out, you put in a number on the grandma. Yeah, I'd give that a 1 out of 10. That's how low you would be.
Oh yeah, it would be a 10. 10 is the lowest.
Oh, 10. Then I give it a 9.
Okay.
Yeah, they got one chance, one explanation, and that's probably not even gonna be good enough. You can't go about doing shit like that to people, because if that happened again, we'll put that out to everybody, all the fans and everybody, and we all welcome them thinking one thing, and it's disgusting and embarrassing.
I'm gonna have to give it a 9 or a 10 too, just because if I was thinking like, and I personally I understand where Queen's coming from, because there are situations, but at the same time, regardless, if you told me that I had something to be joyous to, and it turns out you took my joy away to pad your pockets or to allegedly do something that wasn't anything but being earnest, we got a vendetta. Especially because
I completely understand if it's completely out of cold-heartedness, absolutely. But if there's something to where when we've had discussions about the probability of other things being possible, it makes me wonder if certain people knew, if that's the case, that basically the situation isn't what it is right now, that there would just be certain people that would, I guess, cover things up, essentially, or be happy for the fact that he no longer has to suffer in the public eye, if that makes sense.
I see. Okay. Understood. Now, I want to add this out. And, you know, I kind of don't speak to the commenters a lot, but I'm glad Jordando G, aka number 15, could join us again. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Queen, you're open to let Jordando know how you feel right now because they're mocking Jordan's name and they're no longer number 15.
Yeah, he won't talk to me. I already called him out because he said he was 25, and I'm like, you're lying. So I already knew he was lying. Basically, I don't know what it is. I kind of like smell certain things on people. It's kind of weird, but you know, it is what it is.
Shout out to the moguls that I learned a lot from in the hate room. I'm just showing them something I'm drinking. Everybody, something you could drink. It's really good for you. It's vegetable juice in it as well as juice in it, and it keeps me good. I drink. That's what I drink. If you want to know what I'm drinking right now, since everybody thinks it's grab a drink movement, it's not that at the moment. I just show you the fruits on the back. Has the many different fruits and things that keep you energized. If y'all looking to drink healthy.
Don't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry. I was just reading Jordano's comment. It says, I believe in God. You can make a pact with the devil, though no funny shit. So I have a quick question. Like, just to talk about this aspect of this concept of this devil. Now, has anyone thought of actually the word devil and mirrored it backwards and see that it says live?
I mean, I realize that
evil is live. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Has anyone put certain things together to where you have to understand that the initial human objective of what we're consciously viewing as some sort of devil? Because I've seen comparisons between the female womb and it being the devil, or Christ and the devil, and Buddha and the devil, like all types of things and the devil. So what exactly, I feel like people can use tools in ways for good and evil. That's how I believe. It's even with the Bible. You can take certain verses out of the Bible and just use it towards something negative if you want to.
Yeah, but let me add this too. When you're reading the story, the problem I have with people who use Bible verses like that, if people love, now you're talking to someone that's read through the Bible multiple times, not saying you haven't, but when people are taking the scripture out, that's my problem. They're not reading it in totality. That's the problem. If I'm going to read a story, say I read your book, and in one sentence, you were like, Daddy always taught me hoes ain't ish. And what if when we brought up your book, that was the one quote I kept saying, but I didn't quote everything else that developed to make who you are? I feel like if something's not read in total, that's whatever scripture's taken out is taken out in falseness. Like so for instance, the way the Bible, and you know, I wasn't trying to turn it into a Bible lesson, but the Bible split in Old and New Testament. If you know the Old Testament, there were certain rituals that were accepted and things that were done at a certain time because of the level and the propensity of knowledge that was available. So at that time, the kings and things, sacrifice was something different than it was in the New Testament. And it was narrated to you how it happened. Most people don't realize Adam and Eve, it wasn't just about Eve eating the apple. It was literally about her laying down with evil. So yes, Cain and Abel. Abel was born by man. Cain was allegedly born, he was devil born. It was the difference of occurrences that led to the situations. That's just my opinion if someone's going to mention that. I have nothing to say as far as Giordano. He's saying a lot. I mean, I want to let y'all know I don't co-sign it because I don't. Again, I believe it's someone else. The name, everything about it is something else. But, you know, I don't know where he's trying to go to with it. But, you know, he's doing some other stuff. But that's my thing. I realized that who was on the live stream, okay? Literally, I don't think it was who they said they were. That's just my opinion. I know everybody else was around about, and I know we graded what we thought about if it was to be found out that these things weren't perceived, but I'm not going to drive it home anymore. Again, I look forward to doing another live coming up here soon. I have uploads that I'm going to be dropping throughout the week. Everybody go over to Queen and rock with Queen, message her, do the IG thing, do the consultant thing, get your reading, rock with her, and we'll go from there. I'll let you know in uploads if more information comes. Chris and I have talked about the gaming. I have a gaming YouTube I'm gonna be making. So once we get it together, I want you guys to go over and run over. Don't go, run over, subscribe, rock with Chris on his YouTube that he's doing gaming, and we're going to upload entertainment. Thank you everybody for doing things. There is no word on the autopsy or the toxicology yet. There is no word. There's no word yet, and I'll let you know when that happens. I'm trying to reach people behind the scenes. I'm trying to. So I'm trying to see where that's going to happen. Again, it's behind the scenes. I got to get with the right people. Let them know where they can find you, Queen and Chris.
Yeah, you can hit me up on YouTube and Twitter at Queen Prodigy. Again, also hit me up at Queen Prodigy 0369 on IG if you want to basically hit me up on there. I'm usually on IG, so like that's like the best form of communication to reach me.
All right. You could reach out to me on IG. That's Chris_A. That's AY the number 3. And the same thing on Twitter. Chris_A. We here.
_A with the 3. So go over, follow, subscribe on Instagram. Go over, play nice, get the business with Queen Prodigy, rock with her, everything she got going. Get with Chris, follow him on IG. You know my IG. It's in the description. CZARR_ all rights reserved, one word. Thank you for rocking with us. The greatest nation since United Nations. One. We out.